Now today we're looking at B-roll playing cards. This is an absolutely gorgeous deck, and a friend of mine gave me this as a birthday present. I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. It has a super cool hidden one-way design, which I bet a bunch of you didn't know, and I bet some of you don't even know what B-roll is, and I'll explain that too. So I'll be talking all about this deck right here, and if you guys love deck reviews and playing cards, this is the channel for you, because I put one up every single week, and I'm at like almost 80 deck reviews now. It's a lot. It's a lot of deck reviews. It's a lot of playing cards. There's a lot of playing cards back there that I've reviewed. I know what I'm talking about. So, without any further ado, please make sure to subscribe and ring the bell if you want to be notified when I put them up every single week. Let's get into this deck review right now. So first, of course, what is B-roll, right? What is B-roll? This is when you're going to be doing something. This is the A-roll. It's actually a videography term. I know a lot about that since I've done a whole heck of a lot of research on it. That way I can make my content look more like this, right? So A-roll is the thing that is the main cause of action. The main thing that's happening in the video. So if you hear me talking, the main audio is coming from the A-roll. The B-roll is now the thing that is over the top of the A-roll. Even when you hear the A-roll audio, the B-roll is over the top of it. So right here you've only seen right now a picture as the B-roll. Sometimes B-roll is a video. Now my editing software does not work like that because I haven't been able to purchase that because I haven't made quite enough money yet so far. But it is okay. I'm going to make that much money from YouTube eventually, and then I'll be able to get that so I can put video B-roll over the top. But for now, we're good. So that is what B-roll is. I know you guys have seen a lot of videos do that, and that is what this deck is all about. So even when you're looking at the front of the tuck box, you see a bunch of videography stuff on here, and I'll get more into that when we get to the back design. So it says B-roll playing cards done in this super cool black and white tuck box. On this side it says made in the USA and poker sized, and the other side says B-roll playing cards. And the bottom has USPC ad copy, and the top says and action, which again is more of a videography term. Now this term I did not know what this was. It says before you say cut, wait 5 more seconds. Right there on the hook box, if I can get this thing to focus. Apparently not. Why does it say that? I know a lot about videography, but why wait 5 more seconds, right? Like, if you're done with the scene, you're done with the scene. When I get done with the video, I don't wait 5 seconds. Like, in case you miss something after 5 seconds, it doesn't make sense. You're just going to wait 5 seconds, and then after you're done with that 5 seconds, you're going to wait 5 seconds. Then after you're done with that 5 like, you get the idea, right? I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. And then on the inside, you have the more megaphone type looking thing over here, and over here you have the chair that the producer sits in, and then nothing on the inside of the tuck box. So that's all I can say about the box. Let's take a look at the cards. Now when it comes to the number cards, here is what you have. So the black cards are black. You have a custom value up here in this corner, and then you get these little white highlights always on the left side. Same for the red cards, which are a little bit of a darker red, and then for your black spades and for your hearts. So these are custom pips, custom indices, custom values, a little bit slightly custom on the colors of the red, but all standard placement, so you don't have to worry about that. Now when it comes to court cards, they have been redone, but only slightly. So when it comes to court cards, they have been more caricaturized, but basically bicycle cards. Now this one is a little bit odd because the sword this time actually goes all the way through, and he's still alive. But they're all just basically characterized. There are some things I actually like better. So the flower, and like you can actually recognize some of the things that are actually like some of the things they're holding. Like I never knew this was a leaf. I didn't know that. I never knew quite what it was, right? So I do quite like how they did this. Looks super good. They don't have the line around the outside. Again, I've always liked that when cards don't have that. I like it more like this. So looks simple, looks smooth. Really like how they did it. And another thing that a lot of companies do when they get rid of that line around that little box around the outside, they get rid of the pip on the inside, and this time they didn't. Thumbs up on here. Then for your 3 aces, you have the ace of clubs, ace of diamonds, and ace of hearts. Again, slightly enhanced on size, super easy to take, super easy to look at, not crazy large, not crazy small, just good looking aces. Now, for your ad cards, you have a blank card, which is going to look fantastic. And the other one you have right here is a double backer, but this time has red on one side, and you still have the black on the other. So I think right now is probably a pretty good time to show you the back design. So when you actually see this, it actually should go like this. Now, most back designs are not horizontally looked at, right? But this one actually is, because this camera right here, where the center of it actually goes to both cameras, this camera right here is actually called a reel-to-reel camera because it's going from this reel over to this reel, right? Well, technically it's going from this one to this one. So you actually have all the stuff wrapped around this one, and then it's hooked onto the second reel. Now the second reel will actually be the one pulling it, and that was how this went through on this projector that will then project the movie or whatever you're projecting, right? And that's actually how this camera works. So you're talking about how this reel to reel, and those are the two reels, and it goes from one to the other. So that's what this is actually for. That's what this actually is. And then for your duplicate one-way jokers, you have two reel-to-reel cameras done in all black. Again, super elegant and super gorgeous. Now, I do wish they would have had more contrast on it, because you can't quite see everything unless you're looking at it really closely or having a real bright light on, but still like it a lot. And then for your Ace of Spades being a real trophy. R-E-E-L trophy, not a real trophy, because I don't have it with me. I'm saying B-roll playing cards made in the USA. And although this deck looks good, can it faro? How does it handle? Who should buy it? I have a lot of questions, and so do you. So let's take a look at all this. First of all, that is literally a perfect shuffle. It is a perfect faro shuffle from bottom to top. Literally every other. I cut it perfectly. A little pat on the back real quick. Thank you. So then from top to bottom, wow, 2 perfect faro shuffles in a row. I've been working on it. Thank you very much. So clearly this deck handles perfectly. Let's talk about how this deck actually feels in your hands. So when you're talking about how this deck feels, there's 2 ways for me to describe it to you, right? There's 2 ways. One is how the thickness is. So you have the thin, middle of the line, and thick. Again, when it comes to middle of the line and thick, you also have just classic stock and premium stock when it comes to USPCC, which is where this is printed through. But you can do things to make it shift slightly in how it handles, because it depends on how hard they press it, even when they're creating the classic stock or the premium stock or whatever, or if they double crush it or whatever it is, right? So then again, you also have the same thing for how it feels. You have buttery, middle of the line, crispy or snappy, or super, super stiff where you can't move it, right? So first, let's talk about how thick it is. So how thick it is. It feels like a premium stock that has been crushed. Okay, so it's going to feel a lot like an OPC deck, where it's still, you can tell, is a thicker stock, but it doesn't feel like a thicker stock, if that makes any sense. So I can tell 100% that it is a thick stock, but if you didn't know playing cards well, I don't actually think you'd notice. The better you know playing cards, the better you can tell this is actually a little bit thicker, but since it has been crushed, it's going to feel great, and it's going to last a long time as well. So handles great. When it comes to thickness, now how it feels, it's going to handle like an OPC deck. So there are definitely some of them that handle better than others. This is honestly, I wish I had this for my top 5 handling decks, because I 100% guarantee this would have been in it. 100% guarantee. 100. Guaranteed this would have been in my top 5 handling decks. But on the thickness scale, it's middle of the line, and it has both snappy, crispy, and buttery. So when you're doing things like under pressure, freakishly easy. But if you're going to do something like hot shot, you can do it like a breeze. Now, I can't catch it and look at you at the same time, but it's okay, right? Would have been on my top 5 handling decks of all time. This, I love the way this deck handles. So besides the way this deck handles, you want to know how it faros. You've already known that. You know how the deck handles. What else do you need to know? Who should buy this deck? Well, truly, I think it depends on who you are. So first of all, are you a magician? If you're a magician, sure, go ahead and pick this deck up. The back design, gorgeous, looks intricate, and it has a simple one-way design. So actually, let me just show that to you real quick. When you're looking at this top corner here, and on this bottom corner here, you're going to realize that this one is black and that one is white. So if you don't believe me, let me do a quick riffle test, which is a thing that I do and a lot of other people do, to see if you have a one-way or marked deck. So just look at the top corner right up here when I'm doing this, and you'll see it move. Ready? So as you saw that move, that clearly means that some of the cards are like this, some of the cards are like that, and that means it is a one-way design. So some of them are white in the corner, some of them are black, and now you have a little bit of an advantage as a magician for some things that you can do with a little bit of a little bonus there for you. So, and even when you're looking at a bunch of websites like this two-way back design, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's actually not. So, just fun fact, no matter where you're looking, watch this. Go find some random place that has these cards, okay? Go find some place. And I bet in the description, underneath these cards, when it's like describing these cards, I bet it says two-way design. Bet it does. I betcha. Betcha. Right here, 10 push-ups. We just shook on it. Too late. Can't take it back now. Just blue, make it true. Any Quincy's. Can't triple stamp a double stamp. Can't do it. Alright, so besides that, if you're a cardist, sure. I mean, I'll probably be using it for cardistry, but again, I know a lot of people who use bicycle decks for cardistry, right? So you can use just about any deck for cardistry, but it's not a cardistry deck, right? So, sure. Can you collect this deck? 100%. If you like videography, like I do, 100% pick this deck up, right? So I know people like Peter McKinnon, who also is like freakishly, me and him are very similar, where we both like knives, videography, magic, drums. It's like a freaking same thing. It's weird, but it's true. So people like me and him, and a lot of other people who are both magicians and YouTubers, or film creators, or photographers, or videographers, or editors, we like both of these things. Where we like that, and we like magic, and we like playing cards. So this is a cool deck for any of you. Another one, this is just a cool deck. So if you like things that go on things like that, this is a cool deck that would go on that. If you just like black and white back designs, this is a cool deck. If you like intricate, there's a lot of cool ways that you can say, like, if you collect certain themes, or if you just like cool cards that would fit on a shelf, this is a deck to collect. Although it's not one that's like, this is a super expensive deck, or this is a super rare deck. It's not one of those, but it still looks super cool. So both of those ways, and all of those ways, I'd collect it. Can you play games with it? Sure, why not? It's not marked, no problem with it. Faces are easily recognizable. Again, another thing that's great for magicians. 100%. And as long as you have people who don't like destroy cards, sure, go ahead. And then, is this a hype deck? Heck no. Love this deck. Definitely not a hype deck. So seriously, if you like this deck, not only is this one of my favorite handling decks of all time, it actually might be, honestly. Like, this actually, man, I'm having a hard time not having this pass my favorite deck. I might have, truth be told, a new favorite handling deck of all time. I might. Now, actually, my favorite handling deck of all time was just actually given away. On Christmas Day was the day it was announced. So, sorry if you missed that. You should have been sticking around here on the channel. So, if you would have been notified, that means you would have been subscribed and notified and have the bell rang, then you could have been notified when, I believe that was my 10th giveaway or something. We have giveaways going on every single month on my Patreon, so you can check that out as well. Literally a monthly giveaway on Patreon. Leave it in the description if you want to check that out. So we've given away, 7 decks now? Something like that. But seriously, super cool deck. And if you want it for 10% off, you can use code cardperfectmagician to get that for yourself. So check out the link in the description. I'll catch you guys in the next one. This is Card Perfect, signing off.